If there's anything that most of us have really, really started to appreciate, it's to have food on the table, groceries, to be able to get them easily without blinking an eyelash. Let's talk about this back in a minute. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode of my channel, the Save Money More with Jan channel. How you doing today? Let's talk about saving money. Specifically, just $300 could change your life. Why? What are you talking about, Jan? If there's anything that most of us, okay, remember very, very clearly in the recent past, last few years, tell me if I'm right or wrong on this, is we learned how to appreciate being able to stretch our grocery budget because of what happened with the inflation, how it affected the food prices, and so on and so forth and so on. It got to the point where many working class families had no other choice but to always purchase their food on a credit card, not because I'm using my credit card and then a week later I'm going to pay back the bill. No, I'm talking about the ones that got into the rabbit hole of credit card debt as a result of having to decide, well, what am I going to do? I have kids. I got to put food on the table. Ridiculous. Some of the prices of certain things are ridiculous. I'll give you an example. There's a certain hot dog that I like. I like good quality hot dogs. If I'm going to have a hot dog, I'm not going to eat a cheap hot dog. Okay. I want a good quality hot dog. But the price of that good quality hot dog was almost $10. $10 for a pack of hot dogs. And I'm not talking about like a gazillion Frankfurters in the package. No, I'm talking about the standard 8 Frankfurters in a package type. $10. If you hear drilling sounds from outside, sorry about that, cannot be helped. You know the city. Just one of those things. So that's just like the tip of the iceberg. Even fresh fruit had gone up. Everything went up. I understand the price of beef should be going up it's already up, but it's even higher there. So we have to do something about it. And it came to my attention. I was just thinking of something. I said, what separates most people from having to get to that point to actually having to use their credit card, and then unfortunately they end up in the rabbit hole of debt to pay their grocery bill? Just one thing: the amount of money they spend per month on groceries. I'm going to use the number $300 just as an example. As an example, as a roundabout figure, okay? Keep this figure in mind. If one could save per household, whatever the number is that you got to be honest with yourself. How much do you spend on groceries a month? Okay. And maybe you could cut it down a little, but anyway, you got to be honest with yourself. Just write that number down. I'm going to use the example of $300. Okay. Let's suppose that your household spends per month $300 per month on groceries, right? Here's the answer to the problem: always make sure that you have saved $300 a month for groceries, for food groceries specifically. All right, you may want to throw an extra 20 or so for, like shampoo groceries, that kind of grocery. All right. Health and beauty aids. All right. But select an amount that's realistic to your home or apartment. Now, but Jan, how am I going to do this? Well, you have to increase your income, even if it's just to earn or cut back somewhere or another the $300. Put it aside. Make it virtually impossible for you to have to go to that plastic unless you're using your debit card, which is totally fine. And the money, is in your, checking account or on a prepaid debit card. You see where I'm going with this. Can I tell you something? One of the most popular gifts that I have ever given out in the past, besides Amazon gift cards, okay, this was before that I was like really using the Amazon gift card thing, okay. One of the most popular things that I would give out would be like grocery store cards, grocery store debit cards to their favorite grocery store that I knew that those people would frequent. Can I tell you, they were so appreciative. I mean, people need groceries. I mean, we all eat, okay? It's just a matter of fact. I'm just saying. I don't care if you eat something once a week. Well, I do care. I want you to eat more than that. But everybody eats. It's like it's part of life, okay? So it stands to reason to think if we take the simple method of cutting back, maybe just cutting back on fluffery. Sometimes we think that we're so conservative in our practices with our finances, and not really. But let me just remind you to do the following, and I'll be right back. By the way, thank you so much for clicking like. It really helps out the channel. Thank you. All right, so there goes the drilling outside again. Sorry about that. All right, so where was I? We have to eat, but a lot of us think we're very conservative in our practices. We think we're saving money all the time. Not necessarily. Look around. What bills can you like reduce? For example, can you add it up to $300 that would normally go for food? All right. What fluffery do we know how to separate wants from needs? Do you really need that carousel? Anybody that listens to my show long enough knows what I'm referring to there. It was just a joke about years ago when I really thought I needed that toy carousel because it was so cute to look at. But that's its own show. You've heard the story a number of times. All right. So if you could cut back or make sure that you segregate the 300 or whatever the amount that's apropos for your family, you will not ever have to use their credit card again. You know, it's the little amounts that get people into trouble. Why am I so adamant about this? Because there's something people overlook or underlook, really, in reality. It is not the big stuff that many times, oftentimes, get people into the rabbit hole of DEBT debt. Guess what it is? It's the small stuff. I shouldn't call groceries small stuff. To me, I regard it as just, well, it's like it's something I have to do. It's something I always try to make sure I have ready. That's the way I think. I like things on an even keel. And anyone that's having this problem is going to get on track with this if you follow this method. Be honest, add up in truth and in fact, what do you spend monthly in your household on groceries? Yeah, you might want to, like I said, throw the health and beauty aids in. Just be honest, write the number down. Because that's the number that would be going on your credit card. And for some people, they're just going to get into credit card debt. Now, if you could get it on your credit card and pay it back in a week, that's another issue. That's one thing. But if you know deep down you're going to be straddled with a monthly payment, month in, month out, interest accumulating. No, 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 no. You don't want that. You want to avoid any excessive fees and all that. You don't want that. On your debit card, different, paid immediately. Keeping your money on your debit card for convenience, not to walk around with all that cash. I get it. Okay. And that's fine. And plus you keep a record of it. You know, the transaction, you know, what happened and so on. It's a good way to track your spending. But that's the trick. Know your numbers. Make sure you have that number available month in and month out. And I guarantee you'll be doing more of what this lady does. Have an amazing, fantastic day. Take good care of yourself and your amazing family.